All right, everyone, let's get those aprons ready. Because today, we are diving into a dessert that's as rich in history as it is in flavor.
Ooh, I like that setup. I'm ready.
Torta Caprese. This
Yeah.
flourless chocolate cake
Oh, so good.
from the island of Capri is a true Italian icon.
Absolutely.
And believe me, the story of its creation is almost as delicious as the cake itself.
It really is. It's one of those stories that proves that sometimes the best things happen by accident.
Oh, I love those kinds of stories.
Well, right. So imagine Capri in the 1920s.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
Beautiful island getaway, attracting everyone from artists to, well, let's just say some colorful characters.
He's got my attention. I'm picturing glamorous parties and maybe a little bit of intrigue.
Mhm.
So where does our cake fit into all of this?
Right in the heart of it. The story goes that a baker named Carmine di Fiore was tasked with making a cake
Oh,
for
yeah.
some rather important guests. We're talking mobsters here.
Wow, high-stakes baking.
Right. Picture him sweating in his kitchen trying to create something impressive.
Yeah.
And then in a moment of pure panic, he completely forgets the flour.
Oh, no. That's every baker's nightmare.
Total nightmare. So what did he do?
Did he confess his mistake and run for the hills?
Well, he did what any resourceful baker would do. He kept going. He baked the cake anyway, hoping for the best.
I can't believe it.
And what emerged from the oven wasn't a disaster,
Okay.
but a dense, fudgy, intensely chocolatey cake that became an instant sensation.
Talk about turning lemons into lemonade.
Yeah.
Or in this case, a missing ingredient into a legendary dessert. You've got to admire that kind of ingenuity. It makes you wonder if he actually forgot the flour, or if it was a stroke of genius in disguise.
That's the beauty of this story. We may never know for sure,
True.
but the result is what matters. Torta Caprese was born.
And the rest is history.
Exactly. And it quickly captured the hearts and taste buds of everyone who tried it.
It's amazing how something as simple as omitting an ingredient can lead to such a culinary masterpiece.
Yeah,
But I'm guessing there's more to this cake than just chocolate, right?
absolutely. The magic of Torta Caprese lies in the combination of a few key
I
ingredients,
was going to say, it can't just be chocolate.
each playing a vital role in its texture and flavor. First, you've got to have high-quality dark chocolate,
Of course.
and I'm talking at least 70% cocoa.
So we're going for intense chocolate flavor here. No skimping on the good stuff.
Exactly. Then instead of flour, we use finely ground almonds or almond flour.
Interesting.
This not only gives the cake structure, but also adds a wonderful nutty depth that complements the chocolate perfectly.
And this makes it naturally gluten-free, which is a bonus for some folks.
Mhm.
So no flour, but plenty of chocolate and almonds. What else goes into this intriguing mix?
You'll need butter, sugar, and eggs, the
Ugh.
classic cake staples.
Makes sense.
But just like with the chocolate, quality is key here.
Yeah, Ben.
Fresh, good quality eggs and good butter make a noticeable difference in the final taste and texture.
So it's all about embracing simplicity, but using the best possible ingredients. Now, I have to admit, I'm not the most experienced baker. Could someone like me actually pull off this seemingly sophisticated dessert?
You absolutely can. Torta Caprese is surprisingly straightforward to make,
Oh, good.
and I'm happy to guide you through the process.
I'm ready.
The first step is melting the chocolate and butter together.
Okay.
The key here is low and slow heat. We don't want any scorching.
Got it. Patience is a virtue, especially when it comes to melting chocolate.
Oh.
So what happens after we've achieved that beautiful, silky chocolate butter mixture?
Then comes the egg magic.
Right.
You'll separate the yolks from the whites, whisking the yolks with sugar until they're light and fluffy. And this is crucial.
Okay.
Beat the egg whites separately until they form soft peaks.
Ah, the classic trick for adding airiness and lightness.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to see how this flourless cake manages to be both dense and delicate.
Precisely.
Hmm.
Now comes the moment of truth. Combining everything together, gently fold the almond flour and the melted chocolate mixture into the egg yolk mixture.
And then carefully incorporate the beaten egg whites. The key word here is gentle. We want to maintain all that lovely airiness we've created.
So no vigorous mixing, just a graceful dance of ingredients. I'm sensing a theme here. Patience and gentleness seem to be the guiding principles for a successful Torta Caprese.
You're catching on quickly. And you know what? That's a great place to take a pause and let those insights sink in.
I agree, we've covered a lot of ground already.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the irresistible world of Torta Caprese.
Now, before we get to the actual baking, I have a confession. I always assumed Torta Caprese was supposed to have that super dense, fudgy texture, almost like a brownie.
Yeah.
But I've heard there are actually variations, is that right?
You're right to question that. It's a common misconception. While many recipes aim for that fudgy texture, there are also versions that are lighter and more cake-like.
Hmm, interesting. So how do you get that difference? Is it all about the ingredients? It's a combination of factors. Some recipes use slightly less almond flour, which can result in a less dense texture. Others whip the egg whites to a stiffer peak, creating more air in the batter.
More air, lighter cake.
Yeah,
Makes sense. And I'm guessing baking time plays a role too.
absolutely. Baking for a slightly shorter time can yield a cake that's still moist and fudgy, but with a bit more give. It's fascinating how subtle adjustments can really impact the final result.
This is blowing my mind a little. It's not just one cake, it's a whole spectrum of textures.
Yeah.
So someone like me who loves a bit of both fudgy and cakey,
Yeah,
what should I aim for?
that's the beauty of it. You can tailor the texture to your liking. If you're a die-hard fudge fan, go for a recipe that emphasizes density.
Okay.
But if you prefer a lighter, airier cake, there are options for that too. You can even experiment with different techniques to find your sweet spot.
So many options. This is making me realize there's so much more depth to Torta Caprese than I initially thought.
Speaking of exploring further, what about serving? Can you get creative with toppings and pairings? Absolutely. Let's start with the classics. A dusting of powdered sugar is always elegant and adds a touch of sweetness.
It's simple but elegant.
Right. And as we mentioned before, vanilla gelato
Oh yeah.
or espresso-infused chocolate sauce
Now we're talking.
can take it to another level.
Okay, those are definitely tempting. But I'm feeling adventurous. What about some less traditional options?
Well, for a true taste of Capri, try a dollop of whipped mascarpone cheese and a drizzle of limoncello.
Wow.
The creamy mascarpone with the tangy limoncello would beautifully complement the rich chocolate and almond flavors.
Wow, that sounds incredible. It's like a mini Italian vacation on a plate.
And if you're looking for a fruity twist, fresh berries, especially raspberries or strawberries,
Oh yeah.
pair wonderfully.
I bet.
Their slight tartness creates a lovely balance with the sweetness.
I can just imagine that. A warm slice of Torta Caprese, some fresh raspberries, a scoop of vanilla gelato. Pure bliss.
It's a symphony of flavors and textures.
Hmm.
And the best part, you can truly let your creativity run wild.
That's what I love about baking.
Don't be afraid to experiment and discover your own perfect Torta Caprese pairing.
This is giving me an idea. A Torta Caprese party where everyone brings their favorite topping and we have a grand taste test.
I love it. It would be a celebration of both tradition and innovation,
That's a great idea.
just like the cake itself.
Speaking of tradition, I've heard whispers of regional variations. Is that true?
Absolutely. While the classic recipe hails from the Caprese, other regions of Italy have put their own unique spins on this beloved cake.
Ooh, tell me more. What kind of twists are we talking about?
Well, in Naples, you'll often find a version that includes a layer of ricotta cheese in the batter, adding a creamy richness.
Ricotta. That's an unexpected addition, but it sounds delicious.
It is. And in parts of Sicily, they add citrus zest to the batter, giving the cake a bright and fragrant twist.
Citrus and chocolate.
Yeah.
Now that's a combination I can get behind.
It's surprisingly harmonious. The citrus zest cuts through the richness of the chocolate, adding a refreshing element.
So it's like each region has its own signature. Torta Caprese reflecting local flavors and traditions.
Exactly. It's a testament to the adaptability and enduring appeal of this seemingly simple bake.
You know, we've been talking a lot about the how-tos and variations, but I'm curious about the actual experience of eating Torta Caprese. What makes it so special?
Ah, the eating experience. It's truly a delight for all the senses. First, there's the visual appeal. The deep, dark chocolate color is so inviting. Then the aroma as it bakes fills the air with this irresistible blend of chocolate and almonds.
Oh, I can almost smell it now. That warm, nutty, chocolatey fragrance.
Yeah.
Pure comfort.
And then finally the taste. That first bite is a revelation.
Ooh, tell me.
The intense chocolate flavor melts on your tongue, followed by the subtle nuttiness of the almonds. And the texture, whether it's intensely fudgy or delicately cake-like, it's incredibly satisfying.
You're making my mouth water. It's
Ah.
like everything we've discussed. The history, the ingredients, the variations all lead up to that perfect bite.
Exactly. It's a cake that truly engages all the senses and leaves you feeling utterly satisfied.
Wow, this has been a fascinating deep dive, from accidental origins to regional variations and the pure sensory delight of eating it. Torta Caprese is clearly more than just a dessert.
It's a story of culinary ingenuity, cultural heritage, and pure indulgence.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up our exploration of Torta Caprese. Coming up, we'll share where you can find the recipe to try it yourself, plus a final thought to leave you inspired.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to our Torta Caprese journey. It feels like we've been on a real adventure.
It has been a delicious one.
Now, for the part you've all been waiting for, how to actually get a piece of this legendary dessert.
To get your hands on it,
I know I'm ready to preheat my oven and embrace my inner Carmen di Fiore.
I love that.
So where can our listeners find a reliable recipe to try this at home?
You can find a detailed step-by-step recipe for the classic Torta Caprese, along with some of the variations we discussed on our blog
Oh, perfect.
at www.eateveryslice.com. And of course, we'll include a link in the show notes as well so you can find it easily. But before we let everyone rush off to their kitchens, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought.
As you embark on your own Torta Caprese adventure, remember that sometimes the most unexpected detours lead to the most delightful destinations.
That's such a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
I think that applies to baking, but also to life in general.
Absolutely. So embrace those oops moments, trust your instincts,
Yeah.
and most importantly, have fun.
That's really what it's all about. Couldn't have said it better myself. Happy baking, everyone.
And buon appetito.
And be sure to share your Torta Caprese creations with us on social media using the hashtag #EatEverySlice. We'd love to see your masterpieces.
We can't wait to see what you come up with.
Until next time, happy eating, everyone.